Plays the cello, but probably not like you'd imagine. It's not with a symphony orchestra or a chamber group. Dana Leong plays electro jazz cello. Think high-def Yo-Yo Ma, okay? I got a chance to sit down with the talented artist and talk about his sound, and he also treats us to a solo performance in the studio. Dana, good to have you here.
Thank you.
For those that don't know, can you give us a little bit of background on your sound? I know that you were classically trained. You studied at the Manhattan School of Music as well, too. What would you say best describes it?
Well, my sound is a fusion of hip-hop, jazz, and rock. There's really like the exciting primordial thump of that you find in rock and roll, mixed with the sensual, nice harmonious roundness of jazz harmony, and then you've got the hip-hop elements of, I usually rock out with an MC, with live drums and electric bass, and then myself playing this contraption here, this electric cello.
And how did all that happen? I mean, was it just something that happened by mistake, or did you set out to have that sound?
I think it had to do with the period of time where I'm living, incorporating computers and electronic instruments, and I also grew up in what I consider to be the hip-hop heyday. I'm from the Bay Area on the West Coast, where there's a lot of great stuff happening in the mid to late 90s. Then I moved to New York and enjoyed and really encompassed and took in all the great sights and sounds of New York and put that into my sound as well. So I think timing had to do a lot with the way that things ended up panning out.
And you have a new album coming out. You're also going on tour in a couple of weeks as well, too. Can you tell us about that?
We're celebrating the release of the debut self-titled Milk and Jade album. Milk and Jade is my band, my four-piece hip-hop jazz rock band. And the album features a lot of fantastic MCs and poets from New York, vocalists, poets, singers, and myself playing electric cello and trombone and singing as well.
The band was also selected to represent the U.S. as musical ambassadors during the 2007-2008 season, a program first pioneered by legends like Dizzy Gillespie, Dave Brubeck, and Quincy Jones.
We got a chance to select anywhere in the world to tour for 2 months. We chose to go to Southeast Asia because I wanted to make a difference in an area that I would not be able to get on my own. It was incredible. It was like, all walks of life. I met people from the highest positions in government all the way down to people that had everything they owned right there on their body. For us to be able to transfer the gift of music, the privilege and the gift of music to another human being without any hidden agenda.
Talk about a purpose.
Really, really beautiful.
You also play the cello and trombone, right? Two completely different instruments.
Exactly.
How do you manage that? How do you swing that?
That's a tough one. I got to give it up to my mother for that one. She knew right away when I was a little kid that both my elder brother and I would be a total handful, and she raised us single-handedly as a single mother, and that's hats off to all the single mothers out there. Absolutely. But she knew we were going to be crazy, and we were already getting into trouble around the neighborhood. You know where this is going. So she said, one year Santa Claus brought a cello for me and brought a violin for my brother. Wow. And my mother, being the diligent woman she is, said to us, if you want Santa Claus to come back next year, you had better get good at the cello. Otherwise, he's not coming back next year. And we were like,
smart
okay.
woman.
And the following year, a trombone showed up via Santa Claus, and so did a trumpet for my elder brother. And so through music, she was able to keep us busy instead of keeping us out on the streets, getting into all sorts of trouble with the neighbors and whatnot.
Smart mom. Hopefully that translated into some good Mother's Day gifts,
Exactly.
Dana. Hopefully so. All right, so you're going to play something for us today?
Yes, I am. I'm going to play a song that's from the debut album, Milk and Jade, and it's entitled Across the Line. So it's perfect for what we've been speaking about. It's for everybody out there that has a goal, that has like a wish, a dream, It's all about just getting across that line and being persistent and moving with it.
And stay right there, because as we mentioned, Dana's going to treat us to a performance off his new CD called Milk and Jade a little bit later in the show.